So I watched Toy Story 5. Should you? Ever since this was first announced a few years ago, everyone was rightfully skeptical as this franchise already had two solid conclusions with the third and fourth film, with the latters being controversial amongst fans. I'm sure you need no introduction to Toy Story. I know these films, you know these films, we've all seen these films. The original film is an all-time classic, and for all the right reasons. It revolutionized animation and family-friendly films as we know it, with not only being the first ever fully CGI animated movie, but being full of clever writing, humor, and character moments that truly make this a must-see. Toy Story 2 is still my favorite one of the bunch, with it not only expanding on what made the first film fantastic, but handling its themes of trauma and immortality in a mature way that easily makes this one of the greatest movie sequels of all time. Toy Story 3 is a film I can't get through without crying at least once, as it wraps up Andy's story perfectly in a way that makes everything this franchise did up to that point come together in such a beautiful way, while also having a compelling dark tone in its prison escape story. Toy Story 4 may be a controversial film due to the third movie being a perfect ending to the franchise, but I still love it due to its powerful message on finding new purpose in your life that wraps up Woody's story in a very emotional way. Toy Story 5 has Jessie, played by Joan Cusack, as the main protagonist, as she and the others must now deal with a new obstacle to their owner Bonnie, played by Scarlett Spears, a tablet named Lily Pad, played by Greta Lee, which her parents buy her after she has trouble making friends as less kids are playing with toys every day and are using devices instead. If there's one thing you gotta applaud these movies for, it's the fact that they always come up with new ideas that make sense for this universe in fresh ways. First movie, overcoming jealousy and learning to share the spotlight while also finding and accepting yourself for who you are and what you were made for. Second movie, choosing between living life to the safest versus living it to the fullest and overcoming trauma. Third movie, knowing when it's time to let go and how much a false view on life can corrupt a person. Fourth movie, finding new meaning in your life when your normal routine begins to wear thin. And now the fifth movie has the characters questioning if they even belong in this modern world thanks to the rise of technology. The topic of what kids are interested in due to the rise of technology has been a topic that has been debated back and forth so many times in this day and age, and like people even still question like whether like kids like to do what kids like to do back then, like play with toys, read books, watch cartoons on TV, or even use their imagination in general. This movie mirrors that topic in such a smart way by not only showing us that the toys fear that they are on their way out, but how it could just genuinely change the attitudes and behaviors of kids due to careless parenting. The intended main antagonist of the film, Lilypad, is kind of like Anxiety from Inside Out 2, where she commits actions against the toys not out of evil intention, but because she has a different viewpoint than them on what's best for their kid, but in the process causes more harm which wasn't intended. The film doesn't really villainize her that much, but rather puts an emphasis on the mental toll of bullying, especially cyberbullying, that it can have on a child's psyche, and how important it is to build bonds and take the time to know somebody in person to really know if they are true friends or not. That's the important role Blaze plays in this movie when it comes to developing Bonnie as a character, as her equestrian passion is very sweet and makes her house a clever location for Jessie to spend in most of the film. Speaking of Jessie, her being the protagonist is utilized in a fantastic way, as her fear of potentially losing Bonnie's interest is written incredibly well in a way that directly ties back into her tragic past with her previous owner Emily, in moments that are easily the most heart-wrenching ones in the entire film. There are also many moments where she comes across a trio of technology toys that she resents at first, but slowly warms up to as both sides take the time to understand each other and their purposes. The high-tech Buzz Lightyear army was a pretty funny B-plot that not only ends up contributing to the main plot in a clever way, but pays homage to a lot of funny Buzz Buzz moments in the franchise. The overall references to past films don't feel like nostalgia bait, rather it feels like this movie is paying homage to the franchise's history during these moments, and being that we are currently within the 30th anniversary year of this franchise, this honestly feels like very great timing. I also really like Buzz and Jesse's relationship plotline, as it gives all their little moments in the previous films a chance to finally come full circle and give us scenes that felt really satisfying. Unfortunately though, there is one major criticism I do need to address, and that is how Woody is handled. I get that this is not his movie, I get that he's now like a supporting role, and the way he returns actually does make sense by contacting the others through a walkie-talkie, and Tom Hanks does still give him a nice performance. He's still got the voice despite noticeably getting older, but it still just feels like overall Woody is just there most of the time. A lot of the moments where he tries to contribute could have easily been done by Buzz, as he is with him the whole time, and at one point they have an argument and bicker because for some reason Woody doesn't believe Buzz is as experienced in taking on perilous missions like he is, despite him literally traveling through a city in the second movie to find him. However, the most ire that comes out of this bickering is when Buzz like mocks Woody for his poncho, and then like 5 minutes later they're just cool with each other again. Like, I get it, friends can sometimes bicker and argue after not seeing each other for so long, but I feel like they could have done it much better here. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Not only does it make Woody look like kind of a jerk in the moment, because it's never explained why he doesn't think Buzz can face danger like he can after all they've been through in the past. And like, all the scenes he's in wouldn't have felt really much different had he not been there, aside from them making jokes about how he's balding and like how he's fat for some reason. They don't give a clear explanation as to why that happens. Like, I can understand the balding thing with like the wear and tear, but like, how does a toy become fat? But that's really my only major criticism with this movie, as this truly surprised me with how great it was overall. Not only does it deliver a solid commentary on the issue of kids and technology, but it also develops Jessie's character in such a clever way that not only ties back to her debut in the franchise, but emotionally advances her as a character and makes her role in the main spotlight of the film feel even more special. Whether you're a longtime fan who's loved every single entry in this series like me, or one of those people who didn't like the fourth movie, I'd still recommend Toy Story 5 to anyone, as it is truly an instant classic despite it not being on the same level as the first three films for me. I think I like this a little more than 4, but I still say you should definitely watch this in theaters. 8 out of 10. Anyways, what do you guys think? As always, let me know in the comment section down below and we can discuss it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more analysis on movies, TV, gaming, and more. And remember to keep calm and let life carry you on.